All right, welcome to Straight Red Card. And after some technical karate fight with my computer and Brett's computer, we're at least can hear each other, right? You hearing an echo?
Derek, you there?
Oh, stop it! We've had enough issues tonight. That you can't get me. All right, so yeah, so a lot going on this weekend. I guess maybe we could take it by days, like start on Saturday and talk about all the important players on Saturday, and then talk about all the important players on Sunday who did and did not play. And we're mostly going to take a lot of time on the players that matter. On players that matter less, we're not going to spend as much time unless, it's an easy report. And then Brett's just going to chime in as we kind of go through the weekend. So I think some people were wondering, well, Matt Miazga is not going to play. He just got it out of this. So obviously he didn't play this weekend, but Serginho Dest did, and he went about 80-ish for Barcelona. I don't know if you got to watch the game, Brett. I thought he was just like usual. He's okay. He's fine. He's not a problem, but he's not like, he's not breaking any world records yet for me in Barcelona this season.
No, I haven't really got to watch much of Dest play this season. I know it just started and all, but I haven't got to see many of the games. I had heard that, Barcelona, the way they play, just simply don't utilize him as well as they could, but they're still utilized. Obviously they're still combating. They're still going for that title. So,
I mean, he made some great crosses, but yeah, not much to say there. Now, Josh Sargent, why he only gets 13 minutes and the end of the game again when Norwich is obviously so poor they could use him. I don't get it. And people were thinking maybe he might even get the start this weekend for Norwich, but no, and they got fucking clobbered by Man City. No surprise.
Well, it's weird because they brought him in, obviously, like you said, last 13 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
They were already down 3-0 at like the 65th minute. At that point, obviously they didn't start him, so at that point, 65th minute, why wait for an additional 12 minutes just to put him in?
We know that he's got a motor. Give him 20 minutes, man.
Yeah. But on top of that, though, they put him in for Pukki up top,
which is fine. I don't mind that.
Well,
I'd like to see.
I don't think the problem Norwich was facing all game was that Pukki wasn't putting himself in good situations to score goals. I think the problem we saw is that they weren't getting the possession of the ball at all. So no. I don't know if necessarily if removing Pukki would have been the best option in that situation. Having Sargent's energy up for the last 13 minutes would have been nice anywhere, I know, but he got pushed further up the field, especially when he wasn't going to get that much play. I will say, though, the one solid opportunity they had in the second half stemmed from Sargent putting in the effort to get to a 50-50 that got to whatever spacing his name, the former Bremen guy.
Oh, Rashid,
yeah. And he shanked that shot. But whatever, it is what it is.
And that was frustrating. I felt there were a couple times that Rashid had the ball, and it was like watching Werder Bremen all over again. Like he just shot it instead of passing it to either Sargent or somebody else who had a little bit better chance at doing something than he did in his particular situation. But so that was very frustrating. But come on, Farka, you gotta start Sargent or give him at least 20, maybe even 30 minutes. You don't have to bring him in for Pukki, but bring him in for Rashid. I mean, Rashid was okay, but the whole team was. You got nothing to lose. You're down 2-0 to Man City. You're only going to lose more unless you put some guys in who might make a difference. So
after they got their third goal, he could have got 25 minutes right there. So
yeah,
give him a shot. Give him a chance. I mean, you're already down that many. They ended up letting in 2 more afterwards. It was just, I don't know.
Yeah,
hopefully he gets more next game. It's weird because if Ark brought up the comment he mentioned last game, was like, yeah, and Sargent's ready to go for more minutes, and he got the exact same minutes.
What a dick tease! All right, Don't tease us like that and then play him for fucking basically
Yeah.
2 minutes. That's just bullshit.
So, but this has been a rough start for Norwich. They had arguably two of the top teams in the EPL to face on their first two opening games.
Who's next? Leicester, I think.
It was another top team. I'm not sure. I didn't bother to look.
It's not going to be easy.
The announcers are saying, yeah, they're going to have a tough match next week too, and I'm just like, great. They've let in 8 goals. Have had 1 goal for, so it's not a great start.
No, they're already pitching themselves as far down the as you can go.
Again, you get all these these tough teams out of the way, and then you're just left getting the points throughout the rest of the season.
I still haven't figured out. I still couldn't figure out or can't figure out right now what team they can beat. So we'll see what happens there, especially if he continues to play some of the guys that he's playing. Now, I know they just brought in another player from, I think, Turkey.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. But,
well, I mean, they had their moments against Liverpool. I don't think they're ever going to win, obviously, but they had their moments against Liverpool, and they can create chances. The problem is that they're just leaking in too many goals. Now against City, they were on their heels the entire fucking match.
Well, that was to be expected. Yeah. So it's not a surprise. They played better against Liverpool, though, frankly.
I agree. Yep.
Musa didn't play for Valencia, and I'm not going to bring him up every report anymore because he's injured, folks. He's not going to be back until probably October.
Well, I mean, he's okay. Filippo was just saying that he's okay to train and practice. But yeah, as far as seeing the pitch, he's not going to see the pitch.
No,
in foreseeable future.
No, I mean he might come back earlier than that, maybe September. We'll see. But Charlie Kellman was in the 18 for QPR, didn't get any minutes. Tim Ream played for 20 minutes for Fulham, and then went down with what looked like could be a bad injury. I'm not sure how bad it's going to be. But Anthony
took a pretty hard fall. Yeah,
I know. Anthony Robinson played really well for Fulham that game. Played all 90, got an assist. Fulham looked like they were like, "Hey guys, we're coming back to the PL." All right.
Hell of a good start to it. So
yeah, and they're looking dominant, is what I'm saying. They're looking like they're still a bottom Premier League team, and the teams they played so far definitely look like championship teams. Mm-hmm. And that's a good sign. Sunday he's still injured for Preston North End, so nothing to report there. Dwayne Holmes was in the 18 for Huddersfield, didn't play. They finally won a game. Ethan Horvath. Oh, Ethan. Now, Ethan's only good grace here, and you never wish anything bad upon anybody else, but Bamba, the keeper for Nottingham Forest, has been a fucking clown show. The whole team's been a clown show so far this season. So hopefully Horvath gets some work soon. But
he took my 1 point there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, from what I've read, their number one hasn't been that solid anyways, so maybe he'll get some playing time. But one thing that Horvath did find out is that Pine feels the same regardless of what country you're in. So.
Actually, I think they smooth the benches on in England better than they do in Belgium. I'm told.
Enough rain and wind that just it'll be weathered down, so makes sense.
Yeah, but he needs to hopefully get on the field soon. Alex Mighton played for 90 in the losing cause. He's the dual English-American who probably is going to have to end up playing for us because he's not good enough for England. Timothy Weah went 80 for Lille, and I mean he had some moments, but he just doesn't take anybody on. You know, I mean he doesn't. I don't know. There's something missing there for me.
I was watching Filippo's Yanks report earlier today, and he had mentioned that he does well covering back in the defense, I guess.
Oh, no, he worked
hard. As far as taking his man on, it's just not there. And there's a possibility, because we've all talked. Obviously, Way has been in the picture for the last handful of months under Berhalter's approach here, obviously. But it's possible that Conrad De La Fuente's taking his spot or moves up in the ranks just for his 1v1 attack presence.
And we'll get to Conrad later.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't get to play. As soon as they put him on, I think they played for 10 minutes, and then the ruckus started.
He had 19, actually, but
yeah.
I might be right. I have it written down as 20, actually, but yeah, I rounded up.
Okay, I had it written down as 13. So I don't know what the discrepancy is there, but nevertheless, maybe
they were counting the minutes that all the fans were on the field too.
Yeah, they didn't call it off. They're like, okay, we'll just add this to the end of the game while people throw bottles. Okay.
Fucking stupid.
Yeah, we don't need to cover that anymore. Would have been nice to see him play, but I do agree with you that Weah and Conrad are now kind of battling it out for one of the backup wing spots because Weah's getting a lot of time and he's not doing much. And Lil's been fucking awful so far at the beginning of the season compared to how good they were last season.
I was going to say, and arguably he's getting a lot of time for arguably should be a better team, Marseille. So
he is. Well, Lille, they're the champions last season.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Arguably, they should be considered the better team. Yeah.
Than Marseille, who is
exactly.
Yeah. So Timothy Chandler didn't play again for Frankfurt. Nobody cares about him anyhow. Gio Reyna went 70 for Dortmund in, I think, a rather impressive game for him. He played well. I guess there's some worries he might be injured because he was pulled off.
So he came out with a muscle strain, but they claim that he's going to be back for a Hoffenheim match. So it's not serious, from what I've read on Twitter.
They better get him back. I do think that the manager keeps flip-flopping the formations around during the game. And that's weird. And sometimes that works because it worked last game. In this game, it did not work. And fuck, man, that Frankfurt, I can't remember his name, that free kick.
That was stellar. Yeah.
That was stellar. They got beat by really two very good goals. And other than that, it looks like if you just sit back against Dortmund gets really frustrated. And that's what teams are going to do, I think, for the rest of the season. Frankfurt just laid out a great model.
It's not just sitting back. Teams figured this out last season, too. Mind you, they had the manager change, and it was supposed to be things were going to change. But all you had to do against Dortmund was just clog the center. You clog the center because that's all Dortmund wanted to do was just pass and run through the center.
Yeah.
You just press everybody inwards, keep a couple people out wide, but press most of the team inwards, and then you just go on that counterattack. You'll catch Dortmund's defense either sleeping or in the attack on a counter. But if you just clog that midfield, that center of the midfield, all of a sudden they just get shut down. They have to figure it out. Start crossing some balls into the box instead of trying to do one sticky touch.
To be fair to Dortmund, they should have had 3 goals from Bellingham, not 1.
Yeah.
I mean, he had an atrociously good game, atrociously bad in the sense that he missed some sitters, and atrociously good because he got a goal. But
and he put himself in those positions at those sitters. I mean,
yeah,
it's one of those things like, oh my god, he had to do better with that. But then he's in the right position, so he's there. It's just, as the announcers even talked about it, is like he's not known for his goal scoring prowess.
Yeah. Now, Reyna did get the hockey assist for the goal. So there's that. I thought he played fine. Bellingham is going to have that game's going to be in his head for a little while. Leonard Maloney, by the way, who we saw playing during the preseason for Dortmund, is back with Dortmund 2 again. And he got 90 for them again. I don't know if we're going to see Leonard Maloney move up to the full Dortmund team. I don't know if he's quite got the goods.
Are you referring to just the season or in general?
Just in general. I just don't think he's got the goods. I don't think he's that great of a player.
The kid's like 20 years old? 21? He's got time.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
I'll say the one place that Dortmund does not play a bunch of young kids is their back line. They'll throw a bunch of 17 to 21-year-olds all across the pitch, except for on their back line. Now, I'm not saying that he'll actually make Dortmund at some point. He may get loaned out or transferred, but I'm just saying that it's not unheard of that like I said, 20 or 21-year-old, I don't know how old he is. I know he played for our U20s just recently, so it has to be in that range.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that he's not with the first team.
I get it, but Leonard, I was even surprised that Dortmund picked up Maloney, frankly. I really was. I thought he didn't impress that much when he was playing with his prior team. So there's that. But John Brooks did the usual. for Wolfsburg. Played 90, played great. Wolfsburg wins. Guy's he's our center back champ.
Yeah.
So
no doubt.
nothing else to say there.
He's one of our only center backs in Europe that are getting consistent playing time.
Exactly. We'll get into that.
Of course, it's going to be. Yeah.
Yeah. Julian Green went 90 for Firth in a tie. I thought he was pretty good. He was decent. I thought a lot of his teammates still look squirrely. So we'll see how that works out for him. And Timothy Tillman, his teammate, American teammate, sat the bench for not the full 90. Did not get to play, which is usually a good sign because he often comes in for Green. But they didn't take Green out this game. They're like, nah, you're playing at least 90 minutes. Joe Scally went 90 for Gladbach and got a little taste of an ass whooping. And what it feels like when the other team is going to focus on your side the whole game. But the good news, bad news, I guess, is, and you never wish injury on anyone, but the right back went out, I think, with a serious leg injury, and so we might see him on the right. Now, we might not, because we don't know how thin the depth is for Gladbach on the left. So they might have to keep Scally on the left. I mean, if you're playing a right-footed left back as your starter at left back, who doesn't really, never played there before, you might be pretty, and is 19 or 18 years old, you might be a little thin at left back if you're Mönchengladbach. All right, Filippo is really funny. I didn't watch the whole damn show, but what was it? He was trying to pronounce Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Yeah.
Hey, he did good. He got it right.
Yeah, I thought that he said it more along the lines of back than Bach, which is, I know, nitpicky.
Yeah, I think that's the Brazilian thing coming out there. That's how they would do that with a BACH, maybe.
I like his better pronunciation of the team instead, the Borussia, not Dortmund, which actually takes me more I have to think about that more than their actual name.
Most people just say Gladbach because saying Borussia Mönchengladbach or even Mönchengladbach is a mouthful. So, I always just say Gladbach. My German friends say Gladbach. Hey, and thanks to all the Germans that are showing up on our page and sending me messages in German. I will try to do my best to reply in German. I am better at speaking German than I am writing German. So if I get a bunch of words mixed up and screwed up, please forgive me. I'm doing the best I can.
Does Berliner know that you were talking to his girlfriend?
I don't know. I haven't seen Berliner for a while on Facebook, on YouTube. So I don't know. But happy to be talking to his girlfriend. They have a good, and one of his cousins or something. I can't remember who it was. But yeah, all their messages came in German. We love it. Bring it on. I'd like to see more German all over the page. Actually, Brett, we're going to have to cut this episode and go on to the next one because we're way beyond our time for this episode. So we'll pick up on Saturday after these messages.